Hey everybody, welcome to Kindred Spirits. I'm your host, Christy Brower, and of course you're listening live to Marvelous Mondays here on 1-2 Radio. I'm excited to be here with you. I hope you're excited to be here. I know you've already been listening to James and Mo, and I've got more to add, so I'm always excited to be here with you on Mondays because it is one of my favorite things in the world to do, my show. I love to be here with you guys. I am here with you ×2 in the chat, so if you're available, go to 12radio.com and click on the chat button. That will bring you right to our Facebook group, which, of course, you know, over 3,000 of you are already members. But if you're not, simply ask my producer, Scott, and he will let you in the door. I am doing Facebook Live today, so if you want to watch the show rather than listen, you can by clicking on the video in the chat, or you're welcome to just listen. If you're listening in the replays or in the on-demand, you can see the video too if you want to. You can go to the 1-2 Radio chat room, or you can go to my fan page, which is Christy A. Brower. It's always there. And I post my show every week to my YouTube channel and then share that to the homepage of my website, which is christybrower.com. So there's lots of ways to see the show. I love doing Facebook Live. I feel like I'm really connected to you all when I feel like I'm kind of looking at you, although I can't really see you, but I see you posting in the chat and in the video and you know, commenting that you're here. And I love that because I feel like, hey, we're kind of, you know, actually looking each other in the eye when we have this conversation. So that's pretty fun. I have a bunch of things to share with you. So I think I'm going to start with those things, and then we'll get into today's topic and our meditation and all that fun stuff. I hope you had the chance to join us for our symposium last week, the Psychic Symposium, Thriving in Challenging Times, we did last Friday. It was a great experience. We had so much fun with you all. I hope that you guys were there. If you didn't have a chance to go, or if you missed something, or you want to hear it all again, you can do that. So it is in the on-demand over at 1-2 Radio under 1-2 Originals. So if you go to the 1-2 Radio homepage, click on demand, then click on 1-2 Originals, you will find that all 5 hours are listed there. You can stream them or download them, and they list the names of the speakers in every hour. So say you missed somebody, you know, say you missed Kat at the end of the day and you wanted to hear what she had to say, well, you can go get that in the last hour of the show or the symposium. I can't get my head out of radio sometimes, but I'm going to post that in the link to that in the chat as well, so that you can get that if you are in the chat. Sorry, sometimes I'm not very good at multitasking. You would think, doing everything that I do, that I would be. But I wanted to share that with you and make sure that you know that if you had to work or you forgot or whatever reason that you were living under a rock, because we were certainly, you know, sharing it a lot. But if you did miss it, you can catch it there. And that was a really fun day, and I hope we get to do it again soon with all of you. So, some other things I want to share with you. I have launched my own YouTube channel, and I would love it if you would subscribe. As you probably know, YouTube channels can't have their own name unless they have enough subscribers. And so this is my shameless plug for my YouTube channel, because I would love to be able to name it Christy Brower instead of this long garbled name that it has right now. But I'm posting my shows there. The video of my presentation at the symposium is there. I have a video of one of my meditations is there. I'm going to be adding more and more things to that as I go. I'm going to do a bunch of stuff planned for my YouTube channel. So you might want to look it up and check it out, because I'm going to have a lot of good things going there. So I did post a link to it in the chat. I think if you just search for my name on YouTube, you can find it, because it is listed as Christy Brower, even though it's not named that yet. But I would love it if you would subscribe and keep an eye, because I'm going to have more videos available there. Looking forward to sharing more of that with you. I'm really enjoying doing video. I didn't know that I would, but you know, I didn't know I was going to enjoy radio either, to be perfectly honest. Katie, as you know, my sister Katie, just sort of threw us into radio one time about 6 years ago, and I was hooked after one show and went, I love this. I'm doing this forever. And now I've got video going, and I love that as well. So I would really appreciate it if you would join me over there. I wanted to let you know that I have a class tonight. So if you are an energy healer of any kind, it doesn't matter if you studied with me or if you studied with anybody else. It doesn't matter necessarily even what modality you studied. But if you have studied some form of energy healing and you wanted to get more specific as far as your skills are concerned, because I know, because I teach energy healing and I have taken lots and lots of energy healing classes, that the skills at the beginning are pretty general. And for a lot of us, as we go, we want to get more specific about learning those skills, you know? How do you specifically use energy to heal different kinds of things? And so my first advanced healer training class was last month, and it was on anxiety and depression. I'm going to do my second one tonight. It is on pain. And so we're going to do some very specific energy healing skills to treat pain. So I've listed that, I've posted that in the chat, but if you just go to 1-2 Academy, you'll see that class available. I would love to see all of you healers there. This is a very open-ended group, and so it doesn't matter if you took last month's group or not. It really doesn't matter. Every class is going to be standalone on a different topic. So I wanted to share that with you. I look forward to, getting together with you on that. I think it's going to be a really interesting class, because there are lots of different ways to look at pain. We're going to look at physical pain, we're going to look at emotional pain, and some specific skills to soothe and heal that kind of pain. Okay, and I have one other class that I want to share with you that this kind of came out of my presentation at the symposium. So I'm teaching a class called Active Meditation, Use Your Thoughts to Heal Your Life. So if you are interested in the kind of meditation that I offer here on the show, and that I offer you as my clients, when you call me at 1-2 Listen, you know that I sort of give you a prescription for various meditations that are helpful. The kinds of meditation that I write and teach are not the kind of seeking stillness and silence meditations. They're not the relaxation meditations that you've done in other places, and I'm sure there are other people doing meditations like mine, but mine are a little different in that they are active meditations. Your brain is involved. Your brain is doing something, and there's an element of energy healing to my meditations. So you are walking yourself through some kind of an energy healing process. And I want to teach a class on building your own framework. And by framework, I mean scenario that you use to go into in your mind to heal yourself in some way. So you can use it for multiple purposes. And a good example of that is my stress release meditation. I'm going to share that with you today. And then if you want to know more about how to do that and how to build your own framework and kind of what components are necessary, and we'll work together to develop one for everybody in the class and get you started on developing active meditation within yourself, then this is a great class for you. So that's coming up on April 3rd. And I posted that in the chat as well, but it's also available over at 1-2 Academy as well. Okay, gosh, I feel like I've had so much to say this morning. Now I want to get to our topic. Today I want to talk about frustration. I notice it in myself. I notice it in the world. We are in a place of feeling it again. Frustration is always there, right, in our lives, but it's at different times. It comes up in different ways. And right now, I feel like we've been through a really interesting year already. Pushing should change haven't. Some of us are sitting feeling like we're spinning our wheels. Others of us feel like we've got things going on that make it difficult for us to move forward in the ways that we want to. We've got some kind of a roadblock or a barrier in our way. And so every once in a while I feel like it's time to talk about frustration again and how we manage that, how we deal with frustration, in a positive way. Frustration is real. It is an emotion. It is a physical experience as well as an emotional experience. We all experience it, but how do we manage it in a way that we can shift it into some kind of positive development in our lives, some kind of positive movement? So I want to share some ideas with you about that, and I'm going to share a meditation here in a few minutes, but I want to give you a few ideas how to manage those moments of frustration, right? First, it's really important to stop and breathe. I don't know if you have noticed this about yourself, but I think a lot of us hold our breath when we're frustrated. When we're irritated, you hold your breath and you sort of tense your body up. It's really important to stop, take a few deep breaths, relax your shoulders, relax your chest and your belly, really relax yourself because you're holding everything tense when you're frustrated. And you're not breathing, which means that your brain isn't getting as much oxygen as it needs to function, which means that you can become more frustrated. It's a great idea to take 10 deep, intentional breaths. One idea behind this is that as you're breathing out, visualize the tense energy in your body leaving in a cloud of some kind of colored smoke. So breathe in, breathe out that frustration or that tension. Give it a color, give it some kind of a quality. It can be flames if you want it to be, this is angry frustration, but give it some kind of quality as it leaves your body. Sometimes you need to take a break. If you're stuck in a situation that is giving you a lot of frustration, get away from it for a while. I know I have to do this. I do this with writing. If I get really I'm writing and then I get stuck and then I get frustrated with myself because I can't move forward. The worst thing that I can do in that situation is to keep trying to write, really. So get up, take a walk, watch a funny movie, listen to some music, take a break, remove your attention from the frustrating space. I'll tell you something for me, when I'm really frustrated about a problem, when I take a break from it and walk away from it for a while, a lot of times the solution to the problem will arise when I have removed my attention. When I'm off on something else, then the solution will pop into my head if I take a break. Ask for help. Sometimes you need someone else to get involved in something. Maybe you're trying to solve something that is too big for you to solve on your own, and you need somebody else to get involved. I don't know about you, but I think most of us light workers and energy healers are not all that great about asking for help. We're really great at jumping in to help other people. We're not so great at expecting the same for ourselves. So really ask yourself, am I taking on too much here? Is this too hard? Do I know someone who can help me? Does this problem actually involve multiple people and maybe they should be getting involved in the solution as well? Those are some important questions to ask yourself and get some help. Let's see. Sometimes you need to be direct. If this is a problem that revolves around somebody else, maybe you need to take it right to them and be direct and say, listen, feeling really frustrated about this. It involves you. Can we work it out together? I got to tell you that often people have no idea that they're being frustrating, that they're causing a problem for you, that they're doing something that's irritating to you. I don't know if you guys were listening to my show last week, but if you were, near the end of my show, you could hear my dogs barking like crazy. And you might have even heard my son trying to stop them from barking. And he was standing outside my office door when it was happening. Now, I was pretty irritated. I was pretty frustrated by that. And I had a talk with him afterward. He really thought he was helping because he was trying to get the dogs away from my door. But what he was actually doing is he was walking to my door. They were getting closer and closer to my office. So in his mind, he was helping the situation. In my mind, he was creating the problem. So when we had to talk about it, and I said, hey, the best plan would have been go downstairs, get away from the dogs. They'll probably follow you. And then, that is the solution to the problem. So even though he thought he was helping, he really was causing it, making it worse. But that is not what he meant. So I thought I was working on that was the way to fix it. Sometimes you need to take it to the top. Sometimes, depending on what you're struggling with, you may need to go to some higher authority. If this is a situation at work, if this is a situation with a company or an organization that you need to deal with, sometimes you need to go to somebody's boss or supervisor, right? Don't be afraid to do that. Don't be afraid to advocate for yourself. Say how you feel and ask for what you need. Part of our buildup of frustration is often that we don't really say what we need and ask for help. We kind of have a tendency to just take it, don't we? If we're living in a space of wanting to be loving and caring and understanding of other people, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be, we tend to discount ourselves. And so then we don't really say how we feel. We don't really communicate our situation or our problems, and that's okay to do. And if you really need to take it to a higher authority, please do. How about let it all out? You ever just sit in your car and scream? Do you ever sit in your car and sing at the top of your lungs? Have you ever flipped off your cell phone because you're frustrated with somebody? I'm going to say I put this in my article because I have done that. If I'm irritated in a situation, sometimes I needed to express it. I needed to get it out of me. Frustration builds and builds and builds and builds, and sometimes it results in a big explosion if we don't let the little things out. And so finding a way to express it in some way is important. I've had lots of clients tell me that they like to sit in their car and scream, and punch the steering wheel a few times and release it. You've now expressed that emotion, you've let it out, and it's moved on, right? You can move on when you have expressed it. Sometimes it's a good idea to send it all down. By that I mean down into the earth. So if you are feeling a lot of tension and a lot of tense energy inside your energy body or your physical body, you can send it down out into the earth. So send it out of the bottoms of your feet down into the earth and ask that it be healed. This is grounding. This helps to relieve anxiety, and it really does help release the energy of frustration. Send it down into the earth. That's okay. We're allowed to do that. We're connected to the energy of the earth, and the earth will, as a spirit, as an energy, it will transmute whatever we send down out of us is released from us, and it will be transmuted and released. So that's a great way to try it, to try to release some of that irritation and frustration energy. Another good way, we're going to do my new meditation. If you heard my presentation on Friday, you've heard this, but if not, this is brand new. So, Scott, if you just give us some music, this is my stress release meditation. Close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. Now, feel the music in your body. Let it relax you and take you on a journey. You are standing in the middle of a magical basketball court. You see that the hoop is glowing, and you know that everything you toss into it will be transformed into light. Now, take a moment to feel stress and frustration in your body. Where is it? Is your neck tight? Is your heart heavy? Is your stomach in knots? Maybe there's a lump in your throat. Now, you notice next to you a box of basketballs. Pick up a ball and whisper into it something that is stressing you out. Money. Now, dribble the ball up to the hoop and make a basket. Swoosh! That stressor is transformed into light. Your frustration is released. Now grab another ball, whisper another stressor into it. Work. This time, make a 3-point shot. Swoosh! That stressor is transformed. Take a minute to make as many baskets as you want. As you do, feel your stress melt away. Feel your neck and shoulders loosen, your belly soften, and your throat open. Now, make those shots. Once all the basketballs have been transmuted, stand in the middle of the court and feel your body lighter, freer, and relaxed. And then take a few deep breaths and open your eyes. I hope you enjoyed that meditation. That is my brand new stress release meditation. It is available for free download at ChristyBrower.com. I'll tell you kind of how that meditation came about. When I was a kid, we had a basketball hoop that was mounted inside the carport in our driveway. And we played basketball year-round with our dad. He loved to play basketball, and we would play, we played horse and pig and lightning and around the world. We played all of those kinds of things. But one thing that I remember about my dad is that he could tell if you were struggling, if you needed to talk about something, if you were feeling frustrated, he could tell that that was an issue. And so he would take you out on the basketball court. And we would play basketball and talk something out. I remember tons of times doing that with my dad. And that something about playing the game and just throwing that ball over and over and over again would help us, my sisters and I, we would be able to talk about whatever we were upset about or frustrated about and release it. And so that meditation is really inspired by that with my dad. My dad was really intuitive, and he could tell when we were struggling. He could tell and say, hey, let's go shoot some hoops, and it was never just about basketball. It was always about whatever else was going on. He was there to help with and guide us. And there was something about throwing that ball over and over again that would just help you release it and help you let it go. And so that's really where that meditation came from. And so that was something that I learned early on about frustration. It was a great way to release frustration in a very physical way. So that's one example of active meditation. And that's an example of a framework in active meditation that you could use for all different purposes. So that's a good example of what I'm going to be teaching in my active meditation class that's coming up on April 3rd. Some other things that we can do for frustration. Of course, you know me, I'm going to do everything I can do with crystals because I love stones. And so what I have for you today is not one specific stone. It is a type of stone or a cut of stone. And so today I want to talk about palm stones. So I'm going to hold up in the video just a bunch of these are just flat stones that are small enough to go in your pocket. And so using a palm stone for frustration is a really good idea. Now you can have a worry stone that's got the spot cut out in it to rub, but you don't really need that. Just a flat stone of any kind that's smooth is a great idea. So I obviously love palm stones because I have tons of them. So I'm just holding up a bunch of different kinds of stones. So I have some malachite, some tiger's eye, some peach moonstone, ocean jasper. This is a red jasper with hematite in it, malachite, labradorite, tiger iron, carnelian agate, and then this is lepidolite. So that's just a few of the palm stones that I have. But a palm stone is a great way to work with frustration. Holding a stone in your hand and rubbing it with your thumb is a great way to activate the energy of the stone. Placing pressure or changing the temperature of a stone is how it releases its energy. That's how they release energy in electronics, actually. Like, diamonds and quartz and things like that. Well, that works in energy healing too. So holding a stone and rubbing it with your thumb will place pressure on it, and it also changes the temperature because it's going to warm up in your hand. That will help you to release your frustration. And so this is a great example of just using a physical action. Of the physical motion helps you to express and release the energy, then you get the benefit of the stone. So any flat stone is great for this, and so you can choose a stone that is the stone. So I would recommend that. When I used to be the clinical supervisor of a group foster home, and I worked with lots of frustrated kids. And so I had a special spot in one of the drawers in my desk where I had a bunch of different worry stones. And I used to give worry stones out to my kids. When they were struggling with something, I would give them a worry stone and tell them to keep it in their pocket, and when they were feeling frustrated, to take it out and rub it. And that was a favorite thing of a lot of the kids that I worked with. And, you know, if they ever dropped their worry stone and broke it on the pavement at school, then they would be in my office after school wanting to know if they could have a new one because they missed their stones. So remember that the physical action of rubbing a stone is a great way to reduce frustration. So give it a try. Any kind of flat, smooth stone. Doesn't have to be a special worry stone, you know, or doesn't have to be cut to be a worry stone. Just a flat stone is all you need. I have a certain shape and size of stones that I love. I have a whole bunch of, you know, flat, smooth, tumbled stones that's like, I gravitate to those. I have tons of them for that very reason, because I love to use them to reduce frustration. So that's another little tip to use with frustration. And you know, I wanted to say about the meditation, when you whisper into your basketballs the things that you're releasing, it doesn't mean that it solves the problem, right? What it does mean is that it dissipates the frustrated, tense energy around a situation or a person. It brings it down. It brings the intensity down so that you can think through it in a more rational way, so that you can release the emotional energy around something and release your frustration from it, so that then you can talk it out. You know, have you ever been so frustrated about something that you realize that you cannot talk about this yet, that you need to take some time before you can actually talk to the person about this situation because you feel like you're going to blow? So you need to do something to dissipate the energy, release the energy before having the conversation, right? This is a great way to do that. So the basketball meditation, the worry stone, the taking some deep breaths, the sitting in your car and screaming, the sending the energy down are all things that you can do to bring the intensity level down so that then you can express yourself and get your needs met. Okay, so that is what I have to share about frustration. I would like to do some readings out of the chat today. So if you have not already posted your questions there, be sure that you do, because I do want to share those. I want to talk about those today. Just going to give Facebook a moment to do its thing and update. Let's see who's in the chat with me today. Good morning. Hey, Judith and Suzanne and Alishaya and Danny and Kai and Maureen and Melody and Louie and Brittany and Mercy and Elizabeth. Hi guys, it's really nice to see you all today. I'm excited to see you in my chat as usual. So a couple of other things I wanted to share with you and give you guys a minute to ask your questions, because I do want to do some readings. I am offering some, in doing video stuff, I'm offering a couple of video services over at One2Listen. And so I wanted to share that with you. One is a custom guided imagery meditation. If you want me to write it for you and record it for you, I can do that. So I will do if you want to do a meditation that helps, that you're really working on boosting your self-esteem, for example, I can write you a meditation. I'll record a video and send you the link, and then you will have access to that. It'll be a private link, so of course only you can watch it, but you can watch it over and over again to help to boost your self-esteem. And so it will be a meditation that is an active meditation that has a portion that is a guided imagery meditation and a portion that really is an energy healing of yourself. And so I wanted to share that with you. I'm excited about offering those now. I'm also offering a chakra balancing with crystals on video. So you can watch me do it. You can see the stones. I'll talk to you about the stones, which stones I chose for you, and do an energy healing for you, which is really, it's a reading of your energy body and it's also, you know, a healing and then some work with stones. And so I think that's going to be really fun too. So I'm going to post a link to those in the chat. You can find them in the first two are these video sessions, because I'm really looking forward to doing those some more. I think that's going to be fun. Okay, I see your questions are coming in. Denise says, hey and good morning. Is this a good time for a career change? Ooh, good question. I love that. I love the question because so much about jobs is timing. I feel like, Denise, that you've got, I'm going to say about between 4 and 6 weeks before it's a really good time for a career change. So if you can hold out for a little longer time, the next 6 weeks. So keep that in mind and just kind of watch that things may just play out that way naturally because of the nature of trusting divine timing and just allowing it. But I think that you are reacting to the energy knowing that it feels like the right time for a career change. So I want to validate that for you, that it is. The next 90 days are really good. The next 4 to 6 weeks are especially good. So just kind of keep an eye on that and be aware of it. And now do your part. You know, whenever we're working with divine timing, there's a part of it that is not in our control, and there's a part of it that is. And so the part that is in your control is, you know, applying for the jobs, putting yourself out there. And then the part of it that is really kind of our higher selves and universal energies job is to bring things to us in the right way. And so your job is then to just trust your intuition. But I think some good things are going to happen for you in the next 90 days. So thanks for that question. Okay, let's see. I want to say thanks, Tara, who subscribed to my YouTube channel. Thank you. Silly YouTube doesn't just let me, you know, pick my name, which is kind of annoying. I wish it would. Okay, Edith says, hi, Christy. I'm supposed to go to Hawaii with my husband. Do you see that happening? It's for April for 1 month. Let's see. I would say, Edith, that there's about a 75% chance of that happening. So it's better than 50%. So that indicates that it's likely to happen. A 75% would tell me that there are a few issues around it, that there may be some delays or some challenges that you have to overcome in order to make it happen, but that it can happen. So keep that in mind as you're working toward it, that it may, if it were 100%, I'd say, oh, it's so easy, all you got to do is just get on the plane, right? With a 75%, I feel like there are a few things that have to be overcome in order to do it, but it is entirely possible. So a 75% chance that that's going to happen. Thank you for that question. Okay, let's see. Ree in the chat says, I got a job offer and need to answer them today. What are your thoughts? Oh, you know, Ree, I get a pretty strong yes. I do feel like this is the way to go. I feel your reservations, though. I feel like there must be something about this that you're not quite sure of, or that it wasn't exactly what you were expecting. But I do feel like it's a good opportunity for you. And so from my perspective, I would say that it's a yes. Be open to opportunities that may surprise you, that may seem different than what you expected them to be. And recognize that sometimes things don't always come to us exactly as we expect, but it doesn't mean that they're not the right thing, okay? So good luck to you. I'm excited for you. Sheila says, I am also in the process of sending my resume out there. There are so many job questions today, guys. That is really funny. Okay. Sending a resume out there, but I have a nagging feeling deep inside that I don't want to work in an office or for someone else for that matter. Aha, okay. So sending resumes out, even though that isn't really what you want to do. Okay, Sheila. So let's get real about this for a minute. So the reality is that it's very difficult to manifest a job if you don't really want that job. And I've worked with a lot of people with this issue that I just keep putting resumes out there and resumes out there. But deep down, if you don't actually want to do the work, if that's not really what you want, chances are that nothing's going to come of it. And there's a lot of frustration that comes in a situation like that I have, I've worked with many people through this process, that if you are trying to manifest something that you actually do not want, you probably won't. So I would pull back for a little while and spend some time questioning this within yourself. What is it that you actually really want to do? And that's where you put your energy. I mean, I think what you're saying is that you want to do something for yourself. Okay? Well, how do you make that happen? Here's the reality of that, because I know all about it. I'm self-employed. It may mean that you need a job for a while you build something on the side. Now, if you recognize that, and that you are looking for a job in order to support you so that you can do what you really love, you are much more likely to manifest that, bring that job into your life, than you are putting out resumes for a job you absolutely don't want to do. If you get clear with yourself about your priorities, about why you want this job, and you are allowing for space in your life to build the thing that you're the most passionate about, you're going to be more successful. So be sure that you're very clear with yourself before you put those resumes out. What is their purpose? Is their purpose to attract a job? Okay, so good luck. I think you're going to figure this out. Let's see. I wanted to... Handy says, any messages for job opportunities for me? Oh, Handy, I think that you have about a month before there's going to be a lot of shift there. What do I want to say about that, Handy? I feel like there will be some jobs that come your way. A similar question, a similar feeling to Sheila, like you're putting out resumes even though it's not what you really want. So you need to get clear about what you really want. I think for you it's a little different. Not so much that you're going into business for yourself, but that working is difficult now with the change in your family. And so spend a little time being very clear about what is the purpose of this resume. When I send it out, what is it that I want it to do? What is the purpose of the job that I'm trying to attract back? Be very clear about that. I think that that's a strong message for lots and lots of you that are here today and listening. It's really funny how many of you are here about jobs. We're in a real trend right now, aren't we? Okay, Tammy says, could you please do some healing on my daughter? She's struggling with some health issues right now. Absolutely. Let's see, Tammy, let's take a look at your daughter and see what's going on. Okay, so her vibration is pretty low. I feel a lot of fatigue around her, and I feel like there's something that is really holding down her physical energy. It is affecting her energy body, but it is not caused by her energy body. That's an important key. So this is a physical issue that is affecting the energy body, and it can go both ways. And so that's something that I always look at. I hope, Tammy, that she is getting tested for all kinds of imbalances in the body that can be affecting her physical energy. So I'm just going to throw some of them out there. This is not meant to be diagnostic. It's only meant to be an example, like thyroid, iron, other kinds of vitamin and mineral deficiencies that can be slowing the function of her body down. Something feels very slow and heavy to me. So keep that in mind. I definitely, as we're talking, I'm sending some good energy her way, boosting that vibration up as much as I can. But it's important she continue to work with her doctor to find what that imbalance is, okay? Thank you so much for being here. Liliana says, I turned down a job offer. Something wasn't right about the job. Do you see me finding a new job soon? Guys, it's all about jobs today. I should have done jobs instead of frustration, but maybe jobs are maybe one of our number two sources of frustration in our lives. So that's probably why I talked about that today, right? Okay, Liliana, first of all, I want to say kudos to you for trusting your intuition that it wasn't the right thing for you. That's really important. It can get dicey with jobs when we feel like we have to take something on because we really need it, even though it isn't what we actually really want. And I've been there. I know that so much. And so I want to validate that in you. I feel like there are 2 other potential jobs coming your way in the next 2 to 3 weeks. So just keep your eye out for that. And again, trust that intuition. Only take it if it feels like the right thing. Because if you take a job that you from day one know this was the wrong choice, I should not have taken this job, I shouldn't be here, it is going to be a miserable experience. You'll eventually end up leaving that job too, right? So it's really smart to trust your intuition and not take on something that just isn't the right thing, okay? But I do think 2 other opportunities are coming very soon. Oriana says, I've been having tons of synchronicities and I'm feeling positive about April and my job interview. Here we go, more jobs. Any messages? Oh, let's see, Oriana. First of all, I do feel really good about this job opportunity as well. Although I think that there is one other one in the wings. And so don't give up until you know for sure that you have that job. Because there's something else coming that could also be really good. I feel like it's similar to this job in a similar kind of field. And also with an office that's really positive energy. So keep your eye on that, because I think that there is more. There's more than one opportunity coming, and this feels like for you that they both would be good. And so really, it doesn't matter for you. It's probably whichever one comes through first. But don't shut the door on looking until you have one totally sewn up, because I do think there's another potential out there for you. Thank you so much for that question. Organize, I'm doing and I'm stuck and honestly don't get it done. Why? Okay. So Candelaria, we have to look at a couple of things. We have to look at, sorry guys, one of my cameras is giving me some trouble. There we go. Okay, I want to look at a couple of things with you. The first off is that sometimes when we feel stuck and we want to get moving on something and we can't, we need to look at our environment. Does your space need cleared? Low vibrating energy in your home or in your office can really slow down your energy body. It can affect motivation, and it can affect mood. And so that's the place that I want you to go first, Candelaria, is to clear your space, clear your home, clear your office. There are lots of ways to do that. You know, if you can't burn anything in your workspace, get yourself some sage spray and sage your work area. At home, I would do a regular space clearing with sage, maybe even some dragon's blood incense, some rose water. You know, do a really good energy clearing of your space in order to help with your motivation. I think that those are a couple of issues. And then I feel like you have some tasks ahead of you that are very large. And so it's easy to get overwhelmed, and you frequently look at that and go, there's just no way I can't do it. Well, you can do it. But what you have to realize about yourself is that you're getting overwhelmed. And so you need to break it down into steps. Take a little time to write out your priorities and choose one task at a time rather than trying to take it on all at once. You're overwhelming yourself, and so you're experiencing just an energy body shutdown, like, oh, it's just too much, I can't do it, right? It's like if your house has gotten in disarray and you need to organize the entire thing. Nobody can take that on. Choose a room. Maybe choose an area of a room and start there, and then do your next step and your next step and your next step. But I think it would help you to break it down and do it on paper so that you can see the steps so that you don't overwhelm yourself, okay? Thank you so much for your question. That's a great one and a good one for lots of us to hear. Carol says, my son and his wife are coming out to have a wedding on April 8th. Do you see this going well? I had words with him regarding this. They didn't plan this very well, and all I needed was a date, time, and location because it kept changing. Haven't talked to him since my words were said. My words were pretty much shit or get off the pot on info people need so they can attend. Carol, I do think that everything is going to be just fine. I do feel like he's very overwhelmed and isn't exactly sure what to do. I also feel like he's very afraid of doing the wrong thing. So be careful with that. Recognize that he's feeling fairly fragile. And so now that you've got a date and a location, maybe, just try to jump in and support in the best way that you can, and recognize that he's feeling overwhelmed and feeling kind of judged, not just specifically by you, but just in general, that he wants this to be really nice and he's afraid it's not going to turn out nice enough. And so do what you can to support that. I do think it's going to be just fine. Okay, thank you for that question. Reese says, thank you so much, Christy. Yes, this might not be exactly what I was looking for, but I would like to give it a shot. Good, do. Sometimes we need that. Sometimes we need a big change up when it comes to jobs, and that's what keeps us stuck, is that we keep trying to do the same kind of job over and over again, even though we're really worn out on it and need to do something different. Julie says, funny, if I were to ask a question, it would be about a job or abundance coming my way. Oh yeah, out of work again. Oh, Julie, I'm sorry. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, Julie, I would recommend that you use all of the things I have already talked about, which is being open to new things, being clear about what you want, what you're passionate about, but recognizing that what you've done in the past hasn't worked out great. So maybe you need to look in a different area, look in a different direction. Don't lock yourself in, okay? Thank you for being here. Let's see. Candelaria says, thanks, you were right on. I will do it. It's so doable. I work from home. Of course. So your house needs cleared so that you can work. Candelaria, I also work from home and I have the same issue. If my space needs cleared, I have a hard time being motivated. So I totally get it. So you can do it. It won't take much to clear it up, and you're going to find that your motivation is going to get a lot better. Also, get a piece of selenite for your home office. If you don't already have some, get some. It helps a lot to keep the energy clear and moving in your space. Rosalind says, I've been dealing with frustration and feeling stuck. Let's see, Rosalind. Rosalind, okay, so your energy is really, really heavy. Your energy body is very heavy. I feel like you go free meditations and get energy. No, clear your bubble. Sorry, clear your bubble and do that meditation every day for a while. Your frustration and stuckness is coming from a heavy weight of people's emotional energy getting stuck in your energy body. You might also look at, in my email readings, there's a class I taught called Being an Empath, and that would be a great class for you too. And I do empath training, I do empath mentoring through my time-based sessions, my 15-minute time-based sessions over at 1-2-Listen. I would be happy to work with you, but I think that's what we're dealing with here, is an empath issue. Okay. And Denise says, what did you say about clearing a space? You said sage oil and something else. Oh, I was talking about if you can't burn sage in your office, you can get sage spray. It's basically a tea that's made out of sage, and it's in a spray bottle so that you can use it to spray the space to clear the energy. It works very well. And lots of metaphysical stores sell it, and it's a great way to clear space if you can't actually burn sage. So I hope that helps. And Rosalind says, yes, that is the issue. Okay, so go get that, clear your bubble, and give me a call at 1-2-Listen. Let's work on it, Rosalind. I can help you with that issue. I know a whole lot about that issue. Okay, oh my goodness. So much fun. I'm cracking up about how many of us are asking about jobs, but then I realized that jobs are probably one of our biggest sources of frustration, right? I mean, jobs, money, family, there are lots of sources, but I think work and work with other people can be a big source of that. And so that has a lot to do with what we're talking about today. So the skills that I shared with you today, I'm going to review them just quickly, are a great way to deal with some of your coworkers and frustrations there. Stop and breathe. Take those 10 deep breaths. Take a break. If you need to walk away from a situation, go walk around the building, go to the restroom, go get a drink of water, take a little break. Ask for help, ask for a coworker's assistance or a boss's assistance. Be direct. Sometimes you have to tell a coworker or your boss a situation that you're really frustrated about and be honest about it. Take it to the top. I've had plenty of jobs where I had to go to my supervisor and say, look, here's what's driving me nuts about this. I can't work in this situation or this environment. I need some help. And that helps so much. Let it all out. Go out to your car and scream in the car. Listen to loud music and sing really loud. Remember to send it all down. Send those roots down. Send that energy down through your roots and release that frustration energy out of you. And of course, always remember that you can use my active meditations like the stress release meditation with the basketballs to release frustration and stress energy as well. So there are lots of resources for you. Get yourself a worry stone. Keep a worry stone in your pocket, or maybe keep a worry stone in your desk or at work so that you know that you always have it there. There are lots and lots of things that you can do to help with frustration. And part of it is that we have to admit to ourselves that we need to do something about it and that we need a little help with it. There's kind of a myth out there in the metaphysical community that us light workers are all full of zen and peace and love and light, and we never get frustrated or irritated. It's not true, guys. We're just human beings like everybody else. The point is not that we don't have those emotions. Of course we do. It is what we do with them that helps us to be more enlightened, that helps us to have kinder reactions to other people, that helps us to be more connected to our spiritual selves. It is what we do with these emotions and with these experiences. It is not that we don't have them. We all have them. And so that's okay. Part of it, I think, for a lot of us is that we have to admit to ourselves that we do and that we have to allow for that. It's okay. It's okay to get pissed off at work, okay? Everybody does. It's what you do with it that matters, right? And so that's what we're talking about today, is dealing with frustration, working through that in a positive way. That's the difference, right? I mean, we all know people who get frustrated and take it out on everybody else, right? Who get angry and grouchy and, are difficult to deal with because they're frustrated and irritated. So they're turning it outward onto other people rather than dealing with themselves, right? I skills are how we manage it in a positive way, how we release it so that we're not just carrying it around all the time. Okay, well, I am just about out of time. I want to remind you about my class tonight. It is my advanced healer training class. We're going to be working on pain and different ways to help heal pain, and working with pain in the energy body and working on pain in the physical body and the emotional body. So I look forward to you joining me there. It's at 7 p.m. tonight over at 1-2 Academy, so you can register there. It will be recorded, so if you cannot attend live, don't worry about that. You're going to get a download link for the MP3 file after the class, and so you can listen to it. And I will be teaching one of these classes every week. You will hear me again on Thursday on the Psychic Sisters. And I just want to say thanks for being here with me today. And as always, thanks for listening to 1-2 Radio, where we're changing the way you listen to the world.